Silence can feel incredibly awkward sometimes, as if we're compelled to fill it with chatter, music, or any distraction. We live in a world saturated with noise, traffic, endless notifications, and surface level conversations constantly jostle for our attention. Yet the real clamor isn't outside, it's within us, manifesting as racing thoughts, worries, and self criticism. The secret is that silence isn't empty at all, it's brimming with answers. For centuries, Buddhist masters have taught that true wisdom is born from stillness. When we learn to truly listen to silence, we uncover a new way of living, more mindful, lighter, and profoundly deeper. Today, we're going to explore how embracing the power of silence, guided by Buddhist insights, can transform your life. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin. The invisible noise that consumes us. Silence feels rare these days. Even when we're alone, our minds are noisy. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, and before even getting out of bed, you reach for your phone. Messages pile up. The news bombards you with problems. Your brain starts racing. This is the default state for most of us. Always connected, always stimulated, yet rarely present. But why are we so afraid of silence? Because it forces us to face ourselves. In Buddhism, there's a concept called the monkey mind, the tendency of our thoughts to jump from one to another, like a restless monkey leaping from branch to branch. If we never take time to quiet this inner restlessness, we never experience true peace. So the question is, how can we start changing this? Silence in Buddhist philosophy. At the heart of Buddhism, silence is not just the absence of sound, it's a state of deep presence. After attaining enlightenment, Buddha spent days in complete silence. When he finally spoke, his words were few, but filled with wisdom. Why? Because he had learned that the deepest truths cannot be spoken, they can only be experienced. In Zen, there's a saying, "Those who know do not speak, those who speak do not know." This doesn't mean we should live in absolute silence, but it suggests that excessive talking often takes us further from the truth. How many times do we talk just to fill the void, to avoid discomfort? Zen monks practice long periods of silence because they understand that when we stop speaking, we begin to hear not just the sounds around us, but ourselves. But how can we bring this wisdom into our daily lives? Let's explore that next, learning to listen to silence. Silence has always been there, but do we really know how to listen to it? In Buddhism, there is a practice called shikantaza, which means just sitting. There are no mantras, no specific focus, just the pure experience of the present moment. Try this now. Close your eyes for a few moments and simply listen. At first, you might hear subtle sounds, the distant hum of a car, the wind against the window, maybe even your own breath. But if you keep listening, you'll notice something deeper, a silence that surrounds everything. This is the silence Buddhist masters speak of. It is not emptiness, it is space. A space where thoughts slow down and clarity arises. But listening to silence takes practice. We are so conditioned to noise that silence can feel strange, even uncomfortable. The key is to start small. 1 minute of silence upon waking before grabbing your phone. Walking without headphones, simply listening to the world around you. Pausing before responding, allowing words to come with awareness. Over time, silence stops feeling like an empty void and becomes a refuge. And sometimes, silence is more than a refuge. It becomes the best response. Silence as a response. Not every question needs an answer. Not every provocation deserves a reaction. In Buddhist philosophy, there's a concept called noble silence, the practice of responding to the world with serenity instead of reacting impulsively. Imagine someone insults you. Your first instinct might be to fire back, defend yourself, prove you're right. But what if instead you simply remained silent? Silence is not weakness. On the contrary, it is a demonstration of inner strength. It disrupts the cycle of conflict and disarms the other person. A Zen master was once insulted by a man who expected him to react. But the master simply smiled and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man had no response. Silence teaches us that not everything needs to be absorbed. Often, the best thing we can do is not react at all. The next time you feel the urge to respond impulsively, try pausing. Breathe. Let silence speak for you. And when we learn to listen to that silence, something magical happens. It transforms into wisdom, the healing power of silence. Silence is not just a refuge, it can be a remedy for the mind and heart. When we are constantly surrounded by noise, we don't give our emotions the space they need to settle. But in silence, everything naturally finds its place. Many Buddhist masters speak about the power of silence in emotional healing. When we allow ourselves to be silent, we start to see our pain, fears, and anxieties with more clarity. And instead of running from them, we can welcome them with compassion. Silence teaches us that not everything needs to be solved immediately. Some answers come to us naturally when we give them space. If you're going through a difficult time, try this. Find a quiet place. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Just observe what you feel without judging, without trying to change anything. Healing doesn't come from noise or haste. It comes from acceptance, and silence helps us accept. And little by little, silence becomes a friend. Silence is already within you. Silence isn't something we need to search for outside. It has always been here, waiting for us to stop and listen. We live in a fast-paced world where noise seems unavoidable. But as we've seen, true peace doesn't depend on what's around us. It is born within us. Buddhist masters teach us that silence is not empty. It is a space where we can truly find ourselves. So, how about making a small commitment today? Choose a moment in your day to experience silence. Just 1 minute of stillness can change the way you feel. And remember, the answer you're looking for may not be in the noise of the world, but in the quiet of your own mind. If this video brought value to you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us spread more wisdom and calmness to the world. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.